Um, what the fuck? uh, no, I do not consent, thank you. What the fuck is this? Okay, that was strange. Hello, everyone. Oh, I need to move this, my cat's moving around. Good job, kitty. Yeah, that was strange. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the final game of Halloween Time 2020, baby. The godforsaken year that we will never speak of after this. So, what we're playing today is Heart of the Forest, Werewolf the Apocalypse. Now, this game just barely came out not too long ago, and it looked really interesting. It's very visual novel based, and it just looked a lot of fun. Like, the artwork looked interesting, the story sounded interesting, and who knows. The developer has also made like a vampire series as well, and I thought maybe, well, this game is good, maybe we can, explore the vampire one as well in the future. Always possibilities, but for now, let's just stick with werewolves. I mean, come on. Werewolves all the way, baby. Alright, let's look at our options. Everything looks fine, so I'll leave it as is. Let us start a new game, and sure enough, as soon as I fucking record, my cat immediately jumps on my table and wants to get cuddled. Seriously, cat? This is a game about werewolves, not about kitties. Two very different things. New game. Prologue, Premonition. Stopped the chapter. Oh, there's even an owl back here. Hoot hoot. Oh, he looks so cute. Alright. This game is about /rage and how it helps us do things that need to be done as well as things that we later regret. Sometimes both. How do you feel about that? Great, I'm always angry. I'm the fucking Hulk, bitch. I'm okay with anger when it's useful. Well, I prefer to think before I act. Well, this is actually true. I would prefer to think before I act. Again, I'm okay with anger when it's useful, too. That might be beneficial. I never played this before, so I'm just, like, trying to think before I leap. You know what? I'm gonna do it when it's useful, because I feel like with werewolves, it's like, you have to use it only when necessary, so let's use that. Your rage is balanced, so you're the critical and analytic type. That's okay. There's no right path here. Just your decisions and their consequences. Let's start already. We have a story to tell. God! I get it. My decisions need to be far and just, and let's just follow the path and see where it takes us. Yeah, this is how I feel, actually. Let's just play the game and see where it takes us. Alright. This actually looks pretty cool. Like, I love the artwork on the right, and the left hand is the text. The forest. The woods are full of stars. They flicker. Come closer. Run away. They want me to chase them. To play hide and seek. Let's see, I hunt, I observe, I hide. Well, I don't want to hunt, but I do want to play. So maybe observe? I watch as they dance around the tree trunks, float up in the gusts of wind that shiver through the branches, disappear among the leaves. There are words in their dance, but I don't understand them. Not yet. Then they bunch up and fly toward me like an arrow. Rushing down, they're soon upon me, but just before the spear of light pierces my breast, they disappear and the dark of the night returns. Balance. In the darkness I feel the tangled roots of stories keeping the forest alive, and I hear the spirits asking me to judge the enemy. I open my eyes. And then I wake the fuck up! Cold and alone. Confused, I open my eyes. The forest around me is thick, dark, and reeks of decay to such an extent that it's hard to breathe. Reeks of decay. Ugh. Why am I here? What's going on? My head is spinning. Why am I here? There must be a reason. The tree trunks, wrapped tightly in dark-leveled ivy, are covered in ripples of lichen where the vines haven't taken hold. The thorny leafless bushes at their base are overrun with nettles. The fungi radiate with a ghoulish, sickly green light. Dark sponge-like mushrooms cling to the fallen trees. Yeah, there was something like rotten. What's going on? It's gross. I want to investigate this. I can't shake the feeling that something died nearby. I look down and see my hands covered in a dark substance. I'm naked. Ooh la la! A sticky, glistening film of liquid is clinging to my skin. I can feel it in my face, in my hair. Blood. What's happening? I have no idea what's happening, but stories start forming in my mind. Someone has drawn strange symbols on my skin in the drying blood. Was it me? There is a severed head right in front of me. Oh. Some choices are hard to make, and they strain your willpower. Okay. Well, I don't have very much willpower to begin with. Let's see, but that's also decreases my rage. What is my willpower? Does this, like, say anything? Oh, okay, cool. Willpower is a pool of points that you can spend to perform actions that are difficult for Maya. Particularly, willpower can be used to prevent the effects of high rage. You regain willpower when you pursue your goal. When your willpower goes down to 0, you are impaired and unable to perform part of mental and social actions. Oh, okay. Rage describes your supernatural anger. Be careful when you rage. High rage allows Maya to overcome many obstacles, but also makes her aggressive and hard to control. Health is your life force. When your health goes down to 0, you are impaired and unable to perform any form of hard physical actions. Moon phase, a full moon. We're being fucked. To access the character sheet. Ooh, what's this? Wow, my personality assessment is piss poor on everything. Alright, well. Alright, so do I want... I think rage might be better because, willpower might be really crappy. So let's do rage. Oh, hello. That's a little spooky. Kinda cool, though. The face is contorted, the eyes bulging, the mouth open, the tongue stuck out. It's obscene. I feel bile rising in my throat, and I start to retch. And then, eyes open in the darkness. It's the enemy, or who is it? Well, this could be my best friend in the whole wide world. Or worse. It could be me. So who is it? I could see their silhouettes, shades of jet black against the darkness. They smell of fur and moss and bloodied earth. Massive creatures, some with horns, some with antlers. Their eyes burn like small fiery windows into hell. I look at them, and something wakes inside me. Defiance, huh? Or I can panic like a little bitch. What does this do if it goes away? Oh, well, it gets rid of my rage, so. I don't want to panic, though. This ain't no Panic at the Disco, man. They tell me stories of their lost battles and dying hopes, and I say, no. I tell them my stories of the enemy and how they are so stupid, so clueless, that we almost feel pity as we kill them. They listen and laugh. I laugh with them. In a moment of clarity, I almost understand what the forest wants from me. And then I wake up. Didn't we wake up before? This is very odd and strange. Chapter 1, Arrival. Ah, my willpower. No, well, it's not at 5 anymore. It's at 3. Interesting. Oh, well, whatever. Maria! Oh, Maya! Maya! Maya, wake up! I jerk upright. My neck was stiff and the movement sent a sudden sharp wave of pain through my body. I wasn't in the forest anymore. I was in a bus. The sun streaming through the windows was making it hard to see. The girl next to me was touching my shoulder, disturbed. What happened? What happened? Let's see. What happened? Overcoming the urge to push her away was hard. Really? Wow, that was kind of rude. She looked at me concerned. You were laughing like maniacally. I blinked. The memory of the dream was still there, and the taste of blood in my mouth. I looked outside, and I was glad I wasn't alone. I looked outside. The narrow road cut through a dense old forest. It was one of my dreams. We're almost there, said the girl next to me. Her name was Anya. We met a couple of weeks earlier on the orientation day. She was from Norway, a tall, broad-shouldered, calm person who wore long hair and braids. Somehow, I'd managed to talk her into this crazy field trip across the land of my ancestors. We were there to study medicine. She seemed excited. Anya sympathetic. She seemed excited. We were there to study medicine. We both come to Poland for the same reason, to study medicine. It was less expensive here, and we both received government scholarships. So, did you want to become a doctor, or... She'd asked when we first met. The human body is fascinating. The game tracks her decisions on how Maya approaches problems. They will accumulate and gradually reveal what kind of person she is, deep in her heart. The story changes to reflect Maya's personality. Okay. The way the human works is fascinating. With all its organs, interconnections, the complicated chemical reactions. I couldn't see myself as a doctor, though. Treating people day in, day out, rushing to help them. I wanted to be a lab researcher. Or a coroner. Anyway, I had found a scholarship. That's why Anya and I were on a bus to... I'm going to butcher this so bad. Białowieża. Yeah, whatever. A small village in northeast Poland near the border with Belarus. It was famous for its national park, the very last European bison, and, according to a quick web search, occasional tensions between far-right troublemakers and the local Belarusian community. Ooh. Oh, so we do have to choose this one. Okay. Anya's sympathetic. She seems excited, though. Anya reached into her back pocket... I can fucking read. Anya reached into her backpack and took out 2 apples. I'm really happy we decided to come here, she said. Yeah, I said, offering her some of my kamienosi, a dried meaty sausage that were so much better than the original polished ones back in the U.S. I was glad Anya had decided to come with me. I had problems keeping friends around and really needed one. I did some searching, she said over her phone, and this place is amazing. The last primordial forest in Europe. This trip was my idea, after all. Our summer language course was starting in a few weeks, and I managed to talk Anya into skipping the tours of concentration camps and old churches and visiting that place, National Park, with me instead. So far, it's beautiful, she said with her eyes smiling. But why are we here again? Good question. I don't fucking know. Why were we there? The most honest answer would have been, because I've been dreaming about the forest in that place since I can remember. But people don't understand when I said things like that. I looked her in the eyes. Well, we can use our willpower, but we have 1 left, so let's not do that. Kept the symbols so I wouldn't freak her out. I told her as much as I could. Let's not freak our friend out. I mean, she's the only one we have. Family, it's complicated. Is it always complicated with family? I'm looking for my roots. I kept it simple so I wouldn't freak her out. What I didn't tell her was even more important. I knew my family was there. None of my relatives spoke about it, though. There were a lot of things that weren't spoken about in my life. Strange dreams that plagued me. Half-forgotten tales about forests and wolves that I preferred before my mom took me away. Ran away and cut off all contact with my dad and his family. Damn. What the hell happened there? I waited for her response. Anya fell silent for a moment. I think it's great that you come from such a magical place, she said. The last ancient forest in Europe, thousands of years old. I wasn't sure if I was fond of that magic, but it was hard to ignore. And that was precisely why I needed to do something. Anything about my future. That damn forest, my weird-ass family. I had a clear goal in mind. Nothing will deviate me from my path. I wasn't there by mistake. I planned this trip for months with a clear goal in mind. I had to face the forest, I had to learn the truth about my roots, had to figure out my destiny. Fuck destiny, that's overrated. But we have to face the forest. I mean, there were creepy shit in there, that's for sure. Truth about my roots. Let's go with the I had to face the forest. It's a little bit different. My dreams, my grandfather's stories, the fact my family was from there. There were just too many coincidences. The forest wanted something from me, and it was time to find out why. There was a mystery to uncover and an adventure to be had. I couldn't wait. Welcome home? Questioning everything in life? That place looked like an overexposed photo of a village on the contrast turned all the way up. Heat was pouring from the cloudless sky, scorching the earth, the trees, the grass, the wooden houses, the fences. Everything looked slightly past its best, weary, worn out. Everything except the shadows. They were sharp, as though they were freshly printed into the darkest of inks. And they moved. Ooh. For a second, I could have sworn they moved, but then I realized it was just a black cat walking down the sidewalk. When it saw me, it stopped in its tracks. I watched it with suspicion. You don't know what kind of cat this is, okay? It could be a stray, it could have some fucking rabies. Don't touch stray cats, okay? Unless they come up to you and want to cuddle you, then it's okay then. Hey, do you think there are rabid cats? Because this one is acting weird. Hey, she gets it. She gets it. I mean, there are rabid squirrels. Why not cats? She shrugged, looking around. Didn't you say your friend would be waiting for us? But he wasn't there, and the cat was still staring at me. Let's go. Anya put her backpack. I'm tired and I really, really need to find a toilet. For a moment, I was tempted to just go out in the sun and worry about my missing friend later. Oh, that was her missing friend, okay. Disappointed, I left. But the meeting was just too important. The meeting was too important. I didn't know we had another friend. Okay, but whatever. Let's just wait a little longer, I said. I don't have his number, and we really need to meet up with him. His name is Bartek. I met him online while researching that place. The man knew everything there was to know about local history. I asked him to look around for local stories about the forest. I hope he's found something. I really need to pee. Anya said it like it was a 5-year-old, and not a very bright one. I made my best puppy dog eyes. Oh, please. Let's wait a few minutes longer. Please? Pretty please? With sugar cream and cherry on top? I made my best puppy dog eyes. It's important. The things we do for friends. Anya looked around to see if anyone was coming and then made a beeline for the nearest bush. Watch my backpack, and you owe me. So I waited. Don't worry about this rustling bush. I'm just doing my business. Don't worry about it. So I waited, and the creepy cat waited with me. Bartek was 15 minutes late, flustered and apologetic. It was his dad's company. He explained while catching his breath. He had to help him out with some paperwork. It wasn't his fault. It's okay, I said, although part of me wanted to snap at him, but it wasn't really his fault. He was tall, broad-shouldered, and had freckles all over his face. Come on, I'll take you to your place. The accent was broad and very Eastern European, which I'm not going to replicate in any shape, way, or form because I suck. Anya liked him, got him looking at me, and flooded him with questions. Oh, so we can, like, build up an interesting love story, can we? That's interesting. Let's fill him with questions, though. I have questions, and I demand answers to them. Luckily, he loved talking about his home, so when I flooded him with questions, he kindly obliged. He talked about the village had become a tourist destination, but the logging industry had moved to a nearby town, how the trains had stopped coming, and how the local train station had turned into a hotel for wealthy foreign hunters. Dozens and dozens of bison statues scattered around the village watched us indifferently. We walked along the only street in the village, slowly making our way toward the outskirts. The trees were growing denser, their scent becoming richer and more pronounced. I took a deep breath. So, did you find anything linking me to the forest? I asked. Bartek shook his head. Nothing, absolutely nothing. Sorry. He was avoiding my eyes. A trickle of sweat ran down his temple. He was clearly lying to me. But why? Come on, man, I said. You wrote to me that you'd find something. That you'd found something, excuse me. But he just clammed up. You know what? I think you should drop it. I stopped. And unleashed all my charm! I felt hurt. He was scared of something. Yeah, he seems more scared than anything, but... Should I drop it, though? I kind of want to know, though. I don't feel hurt at all. I'm mighty sus. Like, he told me he found something, but then it's like, I don't know. Shit, dude. It's okay. Alright, he was scared of something. Let's go with that. I returned to Bartek and touched his arm. What's eating at you, man? He shrugged and shook his head. You can tell us, Anya added gently. taunted him a bit. I gave him time. Well, I don't have that much willpower, so I taunted him a bit. Fuck you, dude. What are you afraid of? I spread my arms. Little old me? Well, he brushed his forehead with the back of his hand. I did ask. I started with the old people here. I told them that my friend from the States was looking for our roots and wanted to know about the place her family came from. You know the drill. At first, people were very, receptive. I waited for the other shoe to drop. And then I mentioned your name. He shook his head. Alright, I urged him to continue. Yeah, tell me more. Bartek, no dramatic pauses, please, I urged him. The tension is killing me. One of the old men here told me to go to hell. The other spat on the ground, and his wife crossed herself. For a moment, he looked younger and smaller. And then my young grandmother told me to stop asking. She said something else as well. I tensed up. What? I asked. She told me to pray for you. Suddenly, this sweet golden afternoon wasn't so sweet and golden anymore. Alright. To pray for me, huh? That piqued my interest. I'm really curious now. I knew there was something weird and twisted connected me and my family to the forest. I could feel a shiver down my spine. We walked in silence, but my mind was in overdrive. People didn't want to talk, and they could only mean one thing. I was on the right track! Yeah, increase my willpower! I need it so badly! People were scared to talk about my family in the forest. My pulse quickened, and I tensed up like a hound that smelled blood. I was on the right track. Every time you learn or do something significant that brings you closer to your goal, you regain willpower. Oh yeah, that was a goal. Okay. Cool. Bed and breakfast, baby! That place had a few hotels and hostels, but the preferred form of accommodation was bed and breakfast. That's where we stayed at. I found one that was nice, clean, and that had good reviews. We had a room on the second floor with a huge window and a great view of the forest. We dropped our stuff off and freshened up a bit. Before I had unpacked, Bartek was gone. Bartek left. Goodbye, motherfuckers. Your friend told me to watch out, Anya confessed later. He said you were trouble. I laughed it off. Let's go. The day's still young. I'm gonna beat that Bartok's fucking face in. Ugh! How dare you say to watch out for me? How dare you! Before you go, check out your character sheet. Look for it in the upper right corner of the screen. You can find a load of useful info about Maya, her background, personality, goals, and so on there. You can also check who your friends and who your enemies are. That place was a quaint tourist town. Alright. Oh, I'm age 24, I'm a student, and I'm American! America! Okay, I have piss poor brave, but I at least have something in cunning now. Condition healthy. Anya sympathetic, Bartek neutral, family it's complicated. Alright. The lay of the land. I had a clear goal in mind. The forest was calling me, and I was ready to answer the call. Anya went with you. How nice of her. Let's see. The town my ancestors lived in, or the forest I dreamed about. Let's do the town my ancestors lived in, and if we get a second choice, we'll do the forest. When I realized I had no idea where to go, I swallowed my pride and called for help. Bartek joined you. Oh, sweet. Bartek, thanks for coming, buddy. We walked through the village, bathed in a sharp rays of the summer sun. It was a lazy afternoon, disturbed only by the occasional passing car throwing up clouds of dust that hung in the air long after the vehicle was gone. Anya was walking close to Bartek, asking him about every little detail in the village. People were relaxing or working in their yards. Dogs were barking, and every cat we passed froze to look at us. That's weird. Why is every cat looking at you? Okay, dog is one thing, but why cats? And also, what's up with this guy's hand? I see he's missing a finger. Look at it. 1, 2, 3, 4. I see 4 digits. Where's the 5th one, dude? Jeez. I'm trying to add missing freaking finger. Ugh. People went about their day though, giving us weary stares from time to time. Why the stares expect the fewer stares, the cats behave strangely. Yeah, I'm more curious about the cats. Fuck the people. I kind of figured that would happen. What's with the cats? I asked as we passed a tabby who stopped in the middle of the sidewalk to meow at us. I don't know. They're cats? Maybe they want to make up for the villagers' manners. Bartek shrugged. You know, some people are weary of newcomers. Xenophobic jerks. Yeah, tourists could be assholes. I was curious why, though. Yeah, I'm more curious. Why? I asked candidly. It's complicated, Bartek scratched his neck, embarrassed by the topic. There's a small conflict around the forest, you know. Oh, that's Bartek. There's a small conflict around the forest, you know, and it's attracting some weird people. Activists, reporters, bored rich kids, he said, as though his dad didn't own his multiple businesses. People like that, and they're getting on the locals' nerves. Oh, Anya's frowning. You okay, Anya? 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 I keep butchering your name, I'm sorry. Anya looked skeptical. I looked the conflict up online, she said, and it didn't look so small. It looked very important, actually. For a moment, Bartek looked like he was lost for words. Well, you're not one of those crazies, and you're, like, almost local, he smiled. So what would you like to see in the village of your ancestors? He spread his arms as if to show me all the splendor the village had to offer. Well, what do you suggest, dude? Cats were watching my every move as we walked along the empty street. Okay. Old cemetery, village center, new friends, hidden tension, family graves, mysteries of the past, lost hopes, strange dreams. Ooh. Alright, fuck the new friends. I feel like we have enough friends. Family graves or lost hopes. I'm torn between these two. Let's do family graves, mysteries of the past. Matters of the soul. So we have quite a few churches. So we have quite a few churches here, Bartek explained as he walked down the road. 2 Orthodox, 1 Catholic, and even 1 Baptist church, he said, as though it was something uncommon. Was there a synagogue? It seemed like a lot of churches. Yeah, there's a lot of churches going on. What's going on, my man? Can they just all use one building, I asked. Oh, I never thought of that, he paused. I guess they could, but, you know, most of these churches have been here for some time, so we still use them. If you don't have a tradition of using the same building for different denominations. So it is what it is. Any Lutheran churches? asked Anya. I don't think so, Bartek shook his head as he led us to a small wooden church surrounded by a cemetery. Anyway, even though we have all these churches, there's only 1 cemetery. And that's fair. Fair enough. The church was Orthodox, but the graves were mishmash of styles of faith. Catholic, Orthodox, atheist, everything resting together. Bartek looked like he didn't approve. There was something poetic about it. The place reminded me of a forest. Remind you of a fucking forest? How? Ooh. Bartek looked like he didn't fully approve of such an arrangement. What kind of person are you? I asked, crossing my arms. Bartek blinked. Me? Catholic, of course. Of course. He looked at the cemetery, and for a moment he seemed lost in his thoughts. All my family lies here, he said. I mean, the ones that are dead. Hey, what do you think? What do you think happens when you die? I don't believe in all that religious crap. Only memory remained. I hope for something fair. I hope for something fair? What the fuck is that supposed to mean? I like to think that's something fair. Like the idea of judgment, you know? Maybe you look at your life and family and finally know why you're doing the things you did and what came of it all. It would make sense. Bartek nodded. Yeah, it would. I like to believe it does. He looked over the cemetery fence. Well, anyway, this is it. The spiritual heart of this place. We could go see something else if you like. So that's where we stood. I wanted to go in. He didn't want me to. My rage is really high, though. Shit, I shouldn't have done that rage one, though. Fuck! What was he playing at? What you doing, fool? Anya is neutral. I guess she didn't approve of that, I guess? What the fuck, dude? We're here to find my ancestors, I growled at him. Maya, behave! Anya was clearly not amused. Bartek shifted uncomfortably. I don't know if that's a good idea. Still hiding something. What the fuck is it, boy? You found it. My family's grave. Maybe. So what are we waiting for? Anya smiled at him. He mumbled something that led us through the labyrinth of graves to the far end of the cemetery. We continued. We walked through the narrow walkways between the graves. Bartek's pace was painfully slow, but I had no choice but to follow him. gritting my teeth and cursing under my breath as he stopped every few steps and looked around. At one point, he threw me a condemning look. "We're in a graveyard, Maya. Have some respect, will you?" he barked. Before I had a chance to answer, we saw a woman, tall, broad-shouldered, and long-legged, with gray dreadlocks pinned to the crown of her head. She must have been in her late 40s or early 50s. She was marching through the walkways with fury in her eyes. Bartek quickly stepped between the graves to get us out of her way. Yeah, but this is high. I don't want to do it. But my willpower... do willpower. I didn't move. I didn't see any reason to move out of someone's way, so I didn't. "Are you lost?" asked the woman in polish, looking at me with surprised concern. "I was good. I'm good. Don't worry about me." "No, thanks. I'm good," I answered. When she heard my English, she rolled her eyes. "Good," she said, and kept walking, only to stop after a few steps. "Hey, are you with Cornell?" "What?" She shook her head. "Never mind. Have a nice day." Don't know about Cornell, so fuck her. Let her go. I asked Bartek about her. What's up with her? What's her deal? "Olga! Oh!" "Who is that?" I asked, watching the woman leave. Bartek winced. "Oh, that's Olga. She's a local activist. She left this place when she was 18 or something, and returned a few years back with the notion that she was going to change this place." We continued to the far corner of the cemetery. Your seemingly forgotten and covered in moss was a lonely grave. It was damaged. The tombstone was broken, deliberately. Someone had obviously smashed it with a hammer. The name was erased. What the hell? The plaque was also damaged. Someone was trying to scratch out the name, but the letters were still visible. There was a circle of coarse salt around the grave. "I'm sorry," Bartek sighed. "I didn't want you to see that." What superstitious bullshit is this? I didn't need to know who did this. Was it because of me? Yeah, when they heard me coming around, they probably did that, but why? "Is it because you asked about me?" I asked through clenched teeth. He shook his head. "The first thing you did when you gave me the name was come here. It was already like that." Anya squatted and looked at the plaque. "I can't read it. The letters are all wrong." She glanced at Bartek. "Is it Russian?" "Let's see. Belarusian. The same letters, different language," he explained. "There were a lot of them before the war." I looked at Bartek, hoping for some context. Bartek put his hands in his pocket. "So you don't know anything about your dad's side of the family?" he asked me cautiously. "Whatever happened at least 70 years ago, and someone still remembers." He had a point. I don't know them. My mom left my dad when I was just a kid, so I don't remember much," I admitted. "And she kept me away from them. She doesn't even know I'm here. I didn't tell her that I was visiting this place." "Maybe he was abusive," Anya said carefully. "You had those violent outbursts." "Yeah, I guess." I looked at the grave one more time. I looked at the grave for the last time. My family's name looked strange, written in unfamiliar Belarusian letters. As we were leaving, I was thinking, was I looking in the wrong place? I wanted to find what connected me to the forest, but so far I'd found nothing. Was I looking in the wrong place? That thought, I left the cemetery. Well, technically, yeah, I am should be looking at more forest areas. That's fine. The day was hot and beautiful, yet I couldn't stop thinking about the devastating grave. Lost hope, strange dreams, let's go. "Bartek wants to show us the most picturesque spot in the area," said Anya. Maybe that's not the right word," he said, frowning. "Well, it's not like it's that beautiful, but it has, an atmosphere, a climate." Oh, wait, that's him talking. God, I'm getting so confused who's talking and who isn't. Did he mean cool? Do you mean it's cool? No, I mean it has... Oh god, why is English so hard? Ambience! Bartek smiled, visibly relieved. I meant ambience. Alright, we ended up on some abandoned tracks. We soon left the village behind and ended up on some abandoned railway tracks. The perfect place to meet a serial killer, I grumbled, looking at the overgrown tracks disappearing among the trees. Well, I guess that's one way of looking at it. Maya, God. With a slow winding river, a stone's throw away, and the long dripping branches of the old trees shading the unused railway, the place was really wasn't picturesque. The bees buzzed around us, the birds sang like there was no tomorrow, and the fragrance of herbs hung thick in the air. My head was spinning. Let's see, You remember the song? What? Song of what? Why was the track abandoned? Why is the railway no longer in use? I asked Bartek. I wish I could be able to come here by train. The bus was awful. It was a cargo line, he shrugged. I want to do this, but I have no more willpower. What happens when it goes? So you are impaired enough to perform any hard mental and social actions. Okay. He seemed upset. Oh shit, no! I didn't mean to do that! Oh, fuck! Fuck! Well, here we go. No willpower. Is there a story there? I coaxed him to continue. The line was used to move wood. It all went to shit in the 90s, he sighed. The system changed. The lumber yard was privatized and closed, and everyone lost their jobs. Now at least we have tourists. He smiled at Anya. But for some older folks, it's just benefits and vodka. Alright, this will make physical tasks. If you have 0, or social and mental tasks, you have 0, harder, and sometimes impossible. Fuck. I did not mean to do that. When we entered the dense copse, we noticed a woman standing among the trees. Hello, Bartek, she said. She was stunning. Ooh. When we entered the dense... Oh, we were doing that. The woman looked like she was in her late 30s and was the most beautiful person I'd ever seen. She had a perfect hourglass figure, long braids, and the most stunning cheekbones. Her eyes, slightly slanted, were a weird shade of blue, deep, almost purple. They seemed familiar, and she was looking straight at me. I took a step back. Let's decrease our anger a little bit. Oh, Lisa, and we're neutral with her. Nice. You okay, cat? You okay? Okay. She was acting a little weird for a second there, so, Alright. I felt a sudden sharp pang of fear and took a step back. Hello, Isabella Danilovna. Jesus Christ, I'm so sorry for butchering these names. Answered Bartek. I could hear something in his voice. Was it fear? Respect? Anger? I couldn't place it. She smiled. I'm Lisa, she said, looking at Anya, and then again at me. And you must be Bartek's pen pal, I assume. The one who's searching for ancestry? How did she know? Bartek, have you been opening your fucking mouth, dude? Shut the fuck up, man. How did you know that? Asked suddenly weary. I know everything, she answered, and smiled even more broadly. Oh, come now, don't look so scared. Bartek's grandma's my friend, and she's, well, talkative. Do you mind if I join you? I'd rather walk alone. And is Bartek getting tense? You okay, bro? So what's the story with you two? I asked Bartek. She's from around here. He shook his head. But she helps with the protest. You know, Lisa turned to me, the protest against the logging that his father so eagerly promotes. Bartek winked and snapped, I guess. Sorry, shouldn't we? Wait. 5? Sorry, shouldn't we coexist with the forest? That means taking what we need to survive just as everything else? 6,000 trucks of wood isn't taking what you need, kid. He threw me a glance looking for help. Logging in a national park? She had a point. People need to have jobs. I see their point and everything. Everybody needs a job. But at the same time, it does hurt the forest, so... And we're here for the forest. People need to have jobs. How about that? I mean, you can't expect people to just ignore the way they've lived for centuries, I explained. This is their home and their land, and they're trying to make a living. If it was about local action, there wouldn't be a problem. Oh, that was fucking Anya. It's so hard to tell who's talking. God. If it was about local action, there wouldn't be a problem, Anya chimed in. But it isn't. Giant corporations are at work here with heavy machinery. Ask your friend about his father's money and his clients, Lisa shrugged. Bartek stormed away. I shrugged and followed him. Lisa followed me. We walked to the narrow path. The path was too narrow for all of us to walk together, so at some point I found myself walking with Lisa. She would squat from time to time to collect some herbs. "So you're looking for your roots?" she asked after a while. "Why?" I can't resist a mystery, man. I'm in it, doing it, baby. "My mom is hiding something from me," I answered, and I couldn't resist a mystery. "Sit down with me." She nestled among the roots of an old tree, reached into her basket and took out a blunt. "Let's have a smoke and I'll tell you a story," she noticed when I hesitated. "You need to hear it." Yeah, I sat down. I don't need to get high on weed right now. Lisa let out a cloud of smoke and started talking. "From what I learned from Bartek's grandma, you're asking the wrong questions about the wrong people." Should I be asking about the forest? Yeah, I should be asking about the forest, I sighed. "This is a tainted land, girl," she continued. "So much blood was spilled that Pasca almost lost her mind." Who the fuck is this person? By the way, I'm so totally mispronouncing it, but whatever. Pasca was one of the words for forest. Polish had lots of those, but she used it in a weird way. "Why do you call the forest Pasca? Isn't lost the right word?" "I call her Pasca because it's her proper name," she huffed. "Los is to Pasca what dog is to a wolf. Domesticated, enslaved, used, Pasca is the primal forest, one untouched by humans, primal, strong, and feared." There was admiration in her voice, and I realized that the words sounded like the rustle of leaves, like the wind. Pushka. Pushcha. Pushka. Pushka. As I was telling you, Pushka almost went mad, and it's not wise to wake those spirits, especially now. "What spirits?" "You mean the dead?" I asked. She looked at me with those uncanny eyes. Her gaze was almost unbearable, hard with anger, smoldering somewhere deep within it, ready to jump at my throat. And then suddenly, something changed. Lisa sighed heavily. "You have no idea, do you?" "About what?" "What do you mean?" I asked. "So you have no idea who you are," she stated. "Nobody told you what it was like here during the war and after it." Her eyes lost focus as though she was looking at something only she could see, or she's getting really high on the blunt right now. "In 1939, when the war broke out, first came the Germans and then the Russians. You know, they actually worked together. Celine never forgot that he was beaten by the Poles in 1920. She shot me a glance. I nodded politely. I didn't really care, but I nodded politely. "Get to the point, woman." "Oh, you have no idea what I'm talking about. It doesn't really matter." She took a drag. "Anyway, many millions of lives later, Stalin and Hitler stopped sleeping together, so to speak, and the Germans came, and then the Russians again, and then there were the forest soldiers." The forest part got my attention. Yeah, not Hitler and Stalin sleeping together. Fuck that shit. It's clearly about the forest. Sorry, I had to take a quick drink. My cat, you okay? You okay? Jeez. My cat, man. My cat. Let's see, where are we? I noticed so she would continue. The forest part got my attention. They started out Polish soldiers, but then the war ended and became guerrillas to fight the Russian occupation. And then they ended up as desperate bandits, she sighed. "For the people who lived here, they were all the same. Germans, Russians, forest soldiers. They killed, they maimed, they tortured and burned villages. It didn't matter what language they spoke." "What did it have to do with me? Get to the point, woman! You're stalling!" "Thanks for the history lesson," I said, "but where do I fit into all of this?" "My great-grandparents were from here," she sighed. "After the war, there were some changes, and my whole family was sent to Siberia to die. My grandmother was the only one who survived. She met Buryat shaman, and here I am." But your story's entangled in all of this," she looked straight at me. "The forest had seen it all, and it made people do things." Suddenly I felt dizzy. I wanted to answer, but suddenly I felt dizzy. The smoke from our joint smelled funny. A forest moss, strange herbs, and ash and blood. I was drifting away. What has she done to me? I tried to stand up, but a wave of smells and sounds and visions washed over me and drifted away. We were sitting around the fire, deep in Pushka. They knew the rule and they decided to break them, I say. And the others had nod their heads. We have to react or they will stop respecting us. Let's see. That's what the Force taught me? That is what the Force has taught me. But what are you? Show no weakness. Do what you have to do. Tomorrow, we're going to burn a village. Wolves gather in the darkness, waiting for a feast. And the vision ends. When I came to my senses, Lisa was still looking at me. I ran it over my head. If I understood what you're saying, I looked at her. Something from my family's past casts a shadow on my future? She shrugged. I've told you everything I know. If you want more, talk to my girlfriend. We'll be at the logging site tomorrow. Yeah, good idea. Forrest was whispering to your grandfather. Condition healthy. Huh. So, we saw a vision of our grandfather then? Interesting. I will, I said. Now I finally knew who and what to ask. There you are, Bartok waved at me. I thought I lost you. I said goodbyes to Lisa and we went back. Yeah, I wondered what happened to our friends. Like, did they get lost or left behind? I mean, we just sat down and did nothing. So what the hell were they doing? Alright. New friends and hidden intentions. Go to the village center. This is such a nice village, exclaimed Anya as we walked across the quiet street. Nothing moved. The heat was stifling. Let's see. The village was really quaint. It's quaint, I carefully admitted. Is that a nice way of saying it's a shithole? Bartok made a disgusting face and he burst out laughing. Alright, fair point, man. Let's go get something to drink, I proposed. I'm parched. The local store was a mini-mart with all kinds of goods, from beer and vegetables to notebooks and pens. There was a bunch near the entrance, and on it were a few local drinks. They looked colorful, so I waved at them as we passed. One of them, Wolf whistled, and Bartok winked. I assessed the threat. They were creepy, they were an easy target for a joke or two. Who are you? I laughed at them. The local bums of the year? You must be so proud. Hey, shut it, one of them shouted back. Have some respect. Oh, I'm so sorry, I said with feigned sympathy. Did you manage to lose that competition as well? After a moment of tense silence, they burst into laughter. We spent some time inside browsing with Latvian oh my fucking god. What is this shit? Alright, but just browsing, looking at the goods, okay? Looking at the goods. But was there almost nothing Polish here? And who in their right mind drinks coriander soda? I was putting the soda back on the shelf when we heard a commotion coming from outside. Hearing loud voices. Some slurs, some curses, and a clear mockingly polite. I'm so sorry, darling. I don't understand. Do you like my skirt? Ah, fuck, Bartok murmured under his breath. Ooh, what's going on? Do I need to pull up my phone and record some of this shit, you know? Like decent human beings do nowadays? I looked outside. There was someone standing next to the drunkard's bench. They were definitely not local. Wait, where am I? Oh, person was old. Not hopelessly grown old, but old with deep wrinkles and narrow mouth. They had the unisex grace of a tired heroin preserved rock man. Their shoulder-length, disheveled hair completed the look. They looked out of place, man. Definitely not a part of this woods. They looked like someone had teleported them here from a different planet. They had a clean shave and eyes highlighted with eyeliner. Their nails were painted with bright blue. They wore heavy army boots and a outrageously red skirt, a tank top and lots of leather jewelry. On their backs there were pins, lots of pins. All kinds of LGBTQA plus flags, anarchist and pacifist symbols, and I think some German band stripes. Mom would have told me to stay out of it, but I approached the foreigner, because why the fuck not? Kim, neutral. I smiled and ignored the men, approaching the foreigner. Hi, I'm Maya. I just got here, I said. They looked at me in a serene smile. Nice to meet you, Maya, they said with an unmistakable German accent. I'm Kim. I pointed at the drones, we started talking, I suggested we should leave. Yeah, let's talk, let's just have a nice little chit-chat. What brings you here, I asked. In this place, I mean. I came to see the forest and to protect it. They sounded deadly serious. Me and my friends heard about what's happening here, and we decided to come and help. The men on the bench were looking at us grimly. Hey! Somebody said something from behind our backs. Kim smiled and the men on the bench stiffened. I turned around. It was Lisa. Oh, it was Lisa. Oh, so are we introduced to her girlfriend too? Oh, okay. You should stop drinking the moonshine. It makes you pick fights you can't win, she said. I was ready for a fight. She looked ferocious. And the drunks started explaining themselves. But look at this, Azunia, one of them said, gesturing towards us. For the last fucking time, the name's Lisa, she said, furious. And this is my friend. You're to leave them alone. Got it? The drunkards mumbled and went back to drinking. Thanks, Lisa, Kim said in English. You shouldn't have. Oh, but I wanted to. How does she command so much respect? Like, what's her dealio? Why did they listen to you? I asked. She turned to me and shrugged with just a hint of a smile. Oh, they have their reasons. I think I saw relief in her eyes when she looked at me. Hi, Maya. I was worried you got yourself into trouble there. So, will you join us on the anti-logging protest tomorrow? She asked me after a while. Suddenly a feeling rushed over me. Let's get more anger. I was burning. I couldn't see the forest from there, but suddenly I felt very aware of its presence. I also felt something else deep in my stomach, spreading through my veins. Anger. Like a wave of heat coming from the heart of the dark, ancient forest. A word appeared in my mind, a strange one that was neither Polish nor English. Kalgira. I noticed Kim watching me. I felt like I was being watched, and when I looked up, I saw Kim observing me with a curious expression. They were hiding something. I looked at them and realized they were much more than they first seemed. Under their colorful attire, looking something else, something primal. Why are you looking at me like that? I asked. I know you have strange dreams, they whispered. I suspect the forest is reaching out to you. Whoa, really? Damn! They leaned closer to me. The forest has chosen you. The words were like a punch in the gut. I can see it in your eyes. Wait, shouldn't this be increased willpower because we're learning more about the forest, which is our main goal? Who am I? I asked quietly. You see things that are as they are, they said, looking me in the eyes. Well, you'll figure it out. Suddenly I felt confident. I feel fucking good. You know about my dreams, condition healthy. How was it making that up? There was something strange connecting me to the forest, and there were people who knew what was going on. Before I could ask more, Anya and Bartek approached, and Kim shook their head, silencing me. Meet us tomorrow at the locking site. They blew me a kiss, put their arms around Lisa, and walked away. We decided to leave as well. Alright, interesting. Alright, we called it a day and went back